Dignitas versus TSM in the lower bracket of the regional championships. At the end of last season, you may not have thought that it would end up like this, but here these two teams are. One life to run through this bracket and try to get to land, James. It's going to be a good one.
I mean, even if you would have told me that at the start of this season, yeah. I would have called you crazy. But now that is the reality that we live in. Two of the rival series teams already going to the World Championship, and these, mainstays in the league now having to battle it out, not even to get into the World Championship for this match, but just to have a shot to qualify in the match following.
And if you are a fan of this TSM team, up until 12 o'clock Pacific today, you can head to the esports shop in-game in Rocket League and pick up the TSM Octane decal. And for Dignitas, they seem to figure things out last week, picking up a couple of wins to stay out of the promotion relegation tournament and get to this point. And we're underway as they fight to try to get back to the World Championship.
Metzenaris off the ceiling early, trying to put some pressure on Dignitas, and Metza has been one player, we're talking about major roster moves in the past. We were talking about Casio earlier. Metzenaris was a guy who came over from Complexity and really helped make an immediate impact on this squad. He's had a relatively good season. He's had some weeks where he's really made an impact, but now is where it all matters. He's going to have to step up here in this series to help keep TSM's land hopes alive.
Oh, and iGnite off the crossbar. It goes in. Another player for TSM, the striker for them. TSM on the board.
And iGnite striking, you're so right, Jorby. That is something we expect from him. That one, just a banger, and it hit off the crossbar, almost giving enough time bouncing there for someone to come back and make the save. But iGnite finding his shot in the first minute, and TSM already looking threatening.
And it came off a pass from Remco, who had set that entire play up. And that's what you need to see from TSM in this series if you have hopes for them to win and move on to the next round. iGnite striking and TSM getting involved on offense. In the last couple of weeks, they've really afforded their opposition more space than you might like. That one off the post. Turbo not miffed. Tries to carry it out. Metzenaris back over to the corner. A quick pass again to iGnite. Almost found the upper 90. It bounces down here for Turbo. Still, TSM, some good control early.
And iGnite's starting to heat up. He already scored early, almost finding his mark there.
Oh, Mets back to Remco. Metzenaris kicks this all off. Flipping down, gets it off the backboard, and, Remco scoring.
Hey, Desk, here's that offense you were looking for from TSM. 2 goals out of the gate. TSM taking it to Dignitas.
If TSM's offense stays this consistent in this series, Dignitas, they may be in trouble. Already Remco back over to iGnite. One thing that has plagued this Dignitas team is clearing the ball out, finding rebounds off the backboard. High off the backboard is Remco, almost finding the second touch, and it's boomed away by Violent Panda.
Right now, Dignitas trying to get some space, and a miss there.
And he can't save it. Remco going to score, picking up another goal off of a huge gap from Dignitas.
Yukio just not getting to the ball in time, surprising his teammates. Turbo in a tough spot. He got the save, but he didn't get it to a spot where it was out of danger, and just like that, TSM get a free goal, and that is not something you want to give up if you're Dignitas, already down by 3 without even half the game gone.
Yeah, and for Yukio, out high against the ceiling over to Turbo Pulsa. Dignitas haven't really spent any time in the blue half. They have registered 0 shots on net in the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds of gameplay.
And TSM already have 10 shots.
It's just that outpouring of offense that TSM desperately needed. Something that they haven't been able to put together. An up and down season. It starts off really well for this team. Dignitas do not go quietly in game 1. They get there first on the board.
They really have stabilized with this play. Turbo with a nice little touch in the air over to Yukio, puts it top shelf. That has gotten them back in the game.
And starting the clock this early, you're down by 2 now with plenty of time left to continue the comeback. With TSM, another kickoff going their way. Metzenaris Fighting against Violent Panda for the ball. Ignite. Back to the opposite side of Dignitas territory, and a quick pass for Dignitas as they transition, but it won't last long. They'll have to try to reset again from the corner. Violent Panda. And the flick out back over to Ignite. Turbo not able to hang on to the ball in midfield. Knocked away. Still Violent Panda chases his way towards the box. Yukio as well. Metsunaris, it's only right over to Turbo. Now trying to stay with it, goes under Violent Panda. Dangerous situation for TSM. They get out of harm's way. And Ignite going blocked by Turbo.
And Ignite making a great play there with very low boost, almost connecting on a goal. But now Dignitas having a chance on the other end, the bump!
And Metsunaris gets there in time to make the save. A mid-air bump generating an opportunity. TSM defensively on the rotation, now back the other way. Metsunaris back to Remco. TSM, their fourth goal.
And you feel like that has to be it. That's the one that's putting this out of reach for Dignitas. Metza forcing the commit from Violent Panda, and instead of putting a shot towards net that Panda can save, he puts it off the sidewall, baits Panda out, and gives Remco a wide open net. Remco, you know, it's a hat trick for him, and he already has an assist, 100% goal participation. This has just been a massive game from Remco. That is what he needed. A statement game from him early in the series.
For Dignitas, it was just a series of mistakes that led to this point. It started out quick with TSM, a pass from Remco to Ignite that banged off of the post and into the net. And TSM just kept on rolling after that. Ignite putting on 5 shots on net. He's been consistently hitting it closely. Remco finishing a lot of these opportunities. And Metsunaris fitting in where he may. He had that great pass from the corner earlier as well. So TSM, they look every bit as, you know, the TSM that we expect them to look like.
This is the TSM that we were expecting in the beginning of the season. Now, Ignite on the air dribble dunk, and that has certainly closed out game 1 for TSM.
Dig some salt into the wound, Ignite, just straight into Turbo's face.
They're already down, Ignite. You don't need to do that.
No, it's just for extra.
But we love it.
Yeah.
A shot from Ignite. That impresses us. That is something that he continues to do.
And if Ignite continues to play like that in this series and has that many shots, that close to the net, finds his mark most of the time, TSM, very dangerous. But Remco, MVP of his team, and for good reason in game number 1.
A hat trick and assist. Ignite getting that last goal there on his own. Just air dribbling it and dunking it in. And they just, out of the gate, TSM was controlling the pace, controlling the momentum, getting multiple opportunities. Dignitas just trying to play defense, trying to keep the shots at bay, but not really getting much generated on offense. The one play that they did have was a very good passing play from Turbo over to Yukio. Turbo, a little air dribble, and was able to get one last touch over to Yukio, who just had a well-placed shot. And it seemed like Dignitas might have been able to get back into it at that point, but TSM, they scored again, and it was just out of reach.
Well, there were too many opportunities that just came off of the back wall and the backboard against Dignitas. TSM were picking up every rebound, and Dignitas, it just felt like sometimes they were scrambling to try to win a challenge in their own half.
And sometimes they just missed. You know, the Yukio play, his teammates had a lot of faith in him to go up and make contact with that ball in some way. You know, hit it off even if you don't get a good touch, usually you make a touch where you just hit it off the ceiling and it bounces down. But he just completely missed that. Turbo had to rush back to try to make the save. He saved it, but it just put it up on a tee to get cleaned up. So we have been seeing some rough defense from Dignitas in game 1, some good offense from TSM, and anytime you have that combination, it's not going to be a winning. It's not going to be a winning formula for the team that's playing bad D.
Dignitas look to right the ship in game number 2. Metsunaris carries this, bodies Yukio out of the way, but Violent Panda with some space. Look to get things started for Dignitas. Yukio, quick shot. Ignite can't get there. Dignitas their first lead of the series.
And this all is thanks to the Violent Panda flip reset, completely throwing off the Remco challenge. The TSM defense just got rattled because of that play. Yukio able to score that goal off the play from Panda, and Dignitas get that early start that they were looking for in game one.
Remco going under Yukio, almost pitches it past Violent Panda. I ignite the finisher. Tie game.
Remco says, I see your flip reset. Let me raise you a ground pinch after I fake you out in the air. And I ignite just comes through with the dunk on the goal line. That's a pretty hopeless situation to try to get that ball out at that point. Remco putting he is popping off, Jorby. This was what we had been critiquing TSM about all season long, was Remco needing to step up. Well, guess what? He is.
Remco specifically in E-League form. Remember back just the defensive god that he was back at that tournament, and this time getting so involved on the offense, assists, goals, you name it. Remco's there. Catches this one in midfield. He's got Violent Panda and Turbo chasing him down around the corner, but still a lot of hang time. I ignite. Just a clean miss. Allows Turbo to collect the boost and move out of the rotation for Yukio. Back to Violent Panda, but the rebound picked up by I ignite as he kicks it downfield. Yeah,
the TSM defense, a little scrambly right there. It all started with that miss from I ignite at the midfield, but they've recovered quickly.
And Remco slaps that one onto the ground. TSM's ball right now. The Dignitas handle things well. Move back to the blue half. Violent Panda up high, caught again by I ignite. While TSM, they've had their offensive struggles throughout the season. One thing that they've been able to do time and again is make save after save and put together some incredible defensive efforts this season. So that will be a tough nut to crack for Dignitas no matter what.
And I mean, right now, it seems like their defensive strategy is to just have a great offense, not giving Dignitas even a chance to get organized on the offensive end.
Oh, and Violent Panda caught in a tough spot there against the back wall. Couldn't find a way out. He does eventually get back to the ball. Turbo catches this off the back wall, has another tap, and the demo on Yukio from Remco kills the play for Dignitas.
Yukio was in the midfield, right out in front of net, coming in towards the net in kind of like a lurking position, but Remco spotted him and just takes him out of the play. Remco has his head on a swivel in this series, not letting anything by him.
And Remco quickly on the follow-up. And the touch from I ignite. Turbo catches this one out himself around to the corner. Cannot fight Metsunoris off for the ball. Still. And Remco wins another challenge. Forces Violent Panda up, very aggressively positioned on that play. Yukio does win that challenge. It puts them in a better spot, but Violent Panda still wins that. Turbo light shot in front of the box, turned away.
Good aggressive play from Panda, going for that bump in net. Turbo just couldn't get a hard shot towards net. But Dignitas, they're threatening right now. But can they get that extra offensive power they need in that shot, almost being what they were looking for?
And Metsunoris had to jump up for that and go for it. Quick pass again, Yukio trying to sneak it in between the post, and Mets can't do it. Trying to fight off another play, but Remco wins another challenge in the corner. TSM on defense. Well done. Move it back towards midfield.
You're right, that small touch from Remco, that was what allowed them to relieve some of that pressure, but Dignitas back on the attack yet again. This is the most prolonged attack that we've seen from Dignitas so far in the series.
It's just back over now to Dignitas' half when Dignitas were over there, finding a lot of struggles, winning in the corners. On those challenges, TSM, I ignite has a big win. Remco up quickly, I ignite committed as well. Yukio, all he can do is roll it out to the corner, still close by, a minute left. Still tied up, Yukio. The dump out, Remco picks this up. Violent Panda finds the gap, Turbo's already there, and Dignitas have the lead.
And this one, just a challenge that needed to go better. Remco up, and he missed the challenge right there. Panda hits it downfield, and Turbo going to secure this one. So after the first two goals, the back-to-back goals between TSM and Dignitas, the stalemate finally broken as Dignitas gets that go-ahead goal.
TSM with 12-plus shots in game number 1 have been limited to 3 in game number 2. Remco up. Metsunoris demoed on the play. I ignite wide. in front of the box. Turbo had him beat. Metzenaris coming back, spawning, makes a challenge. Ignite wins a big challenge as well in the corner. What can he do with it here as he tees it back to the back wall? Not much as Turbo booms it away. Still TSM, Ignite slaps that one against the corner. They're running out of time. They want to try to get a 2-0 series lead against Dignitas. Turbo back over to Violent Panda. A much better performance on the defensive end for Dignitas. Not out of trouble just yet. Ignite to Remco, blocked by Violent Panda. Dignitas, they get away with it and take game number 2.
In those final seconds, we saw the double commit by Metzenaris and Ignite. Only one player needed to go up, but they were trying to make those last-second heroics happen. TSM, it seemed like they were going to maybe pull away with the win in this one as well, because as soon as Dignitas scored that first goal, TSM immediately responded, and then we had those 3 or 4 minutes of just stalemate. We'll take a look at this winning goal here. The challenge from Remco not coming through. Panda got a big win there and was essentially allowed Turbo to get that win, or get the goal rather.
And Remco, he's been pretty solid so far in this series, hitting those touches in midfield. It was just unfortunate for him that he couldn't make that touch, the one that mattered the most. And for the most part, I mean, when Dignitas had that prolonged assault on offense, Remco had made so many great challenges in his own corner that gave his team a chance to clear it out. And even if they couldn't clear it out, it bought them enough space to be able to at least rotate defensively, keep things tight. No one was double committing. It was mostly sound play from TSM, but Dignitas, just too much pressure. They righted the ship, great passes down the field, good transitions that allowed them to win this.
Yeah, they buttoned up the defense, Dignitas did, and then, you know, they started getting those passes connecting. And so Dignitas made some very good adjustments in game number 2, and TSM, they kept it very competitive. I think we're gonna be in for the long haul in this series, Jorby.
Game number 3 in this best-of-7 set. Absolutely has the potential to go all 7. Yukio starts in midfield. Remco on the challenge. Ignite following closely, and he is gone. Yukio picks this up and challenged quickly by Metz. Oh, Yukio's there. He wins that one just above the backboard. Dignitas really starting to come into form, and at the end of yesterday, when we interviewed Garrett G, after they became North American Regional Champions, Yukio shot in! Dignitas scores! 34 seconds and they're on the board.
And you could see Metza didn't get the greatest touch. Turbo going after Remco. Remco accidentally flipping into Ignite. Just aggression, forcing mistakes out of the TSM defense. And Yukio there to clean up the situation. Dignitas, after that rough game 1, has really responded in game 2, and now early in game 3, keeping that pressure on TSM.
The pass down, Turbo Pulsa. Gonna boom it downfield back over to Yukio. Bounces off the ramp. And Yukio carrying that, almost has it, but Metzenaris there for the block. Violent Panda back to the other side. It was a lot of turning in midfield. Remco has the shot, and TSM tie the game.
And the double commit from Yukio and Turbo put Violent Panda in this awful situation. And then on top of that, Ignite getting the demo on Yukio. Panda had to make 2 stops back-to-back. He couldn't do it. And TSM gets the equalizer, but it all comes back to that double commit. Turbo and Yukio really just putting Panda all on his own. That was a rough situation to be in for Panda.
Back in the corner, Yukio is met with a boomer from Remco. Violent Panda opting to keep it close. Ignite on the challenge. Metz there as well. And Ignite rolled right back over. Rolls off the ceiling. Turbo Pulse on the touch out. Yukio can't get there. It's off the crossbar. Metzenaris scores. TSM have the lead.
And TSM come roaring back. Turbo, again, not the greatest touch. It went back out into the middle of the field. Remco didn't hit his shot, but Metzenaris there to clean up. You really have to get those balls over to the corner. Anytime you put it out in front of net, you're asking for trouble. And trouble's exactly what TSM gave Dignitas on that play.
Remco fighting for this, and Metzenaris gets a big win. out back to Dignitas territory. And iGNITE has Remco. iGNITE looking for the bump. Violent Panda avoids it and connects on the save. So Dignitas, while game number 2, able to clean things up on defense. It still does look better than game 1 here in game number 3, but TSM finding more pressure. Turbo couldn't catch it back, but Violent Panda's there in the corner as well. Yukio, that off the ceiling. Turbo can't get there in time, a little too far off to go for the ball. Remco hunting on the line for a demo as well. Over already up is Turbo, just ahead of the ball. Violent Panda scores, and we have a tie game.
And this one was a moment where you're wondering what's going to be going on. Is Turbo going to drop this down? Will he change it and go for the double tap? He fakes the drop pass to allow that backboard play for Panda. It completely fooled the defender. And Dignitas getting back on the board with another goal, tying it up. And they're right back in this one.
Yukio against the corner again, a high flying ball. Metsunaris off the ceiling and the backboard. iGNITE just trying to keep it away from Yukio, preventing that boomer transition downfield. And he gets back to make the challenge, forcing Dignitas to stretch their side of the field. Yukio had Mets beat on the play. Miss there from iGNITE allows Violent Panda to move this back. Turbo Pulsa picks it up, trying to keep it away from Mets. And struggling to find the ball is Remco. Metsunaris does eventually come away with it for TSM. It was a potentially dangerous situation for TSM. Violent Panda makes one miss. Remco makes a good challenge there. Back and forth since that last kickoff, but up high, Remco able to make the touch. Dignitas pressing. Violent Panda can't make the touch in midfield, but plenty of space for Yukio. Can't make Mets miss, so we head back the other way.
And this game has been deadlocked now. That play just a moment ago by Remco, good defensive touch. TSM holding on defensively. Dignitas, though, keeping this momentum going that they've had. And now a chance for TSM. Remco coming in, but it gets taken out by Panda.
And these challenges that TSM do end up winning, there's no one on TSM ready to follow them up. In the last 2 minutes or so, it's always right into Dignitas space. And there's a good amount of space for them to at least work a little bit and think about how they want to move down the pitch. They haven't felt too much pressure.
This game so neck and neck, Jorby. 4 shots apiece, 2 saves by TSM, only 1 for Dignitas. Who is going to make that first mistake or that stellar play that gets them the win in game 3?
A touch off the ceiling. Remco has it red. iGNITE, a quick follow-up, but he affords Violent Panda in midfield. 20 seconds remaining. iGNITE takes it himself. Yukio, he's got Violent Panda there. He doesn't need him. Rolls right into the net. 19 seconds left. Dignitas have the lead.
And you can see Metza going up for it, and iGNITE gets a second tap on the ball, completely fooling his teammate. Metsunaris with that miss left the net wide open. Remco was going for the mid boost, so he wasn't anywhere close to make that play. And so a communication error from TSM looks like it might cost them the game.
Oh, Yukio having to make the save for Dignitas. Metsunaris in the corner. He's got iGNITE on the wing, carrying it up. iGNITE off the backboard. Remco blocked by Violent Panda. Dignitas kill it, and they're up in the series 2-1.
And I said, who's going to make that mistake? It was TSM. That last goal, it was just a bad miscommunication from Metsunaris and iGNITE. It happens all the time. You see it, and you hate to see it, really, Jorby, where your teammate, you think he's passing to you off the wall, and so you go up for it. And then when he gets that second touch, it just puts it out of your reach. We'll see it again. This one, just the open net shot from Yukio after the play. But Yukio, yeah, I mean, look at this. There he goes. Goes for the second touch. You see, Metsunaris wasn't expecting it whatsoever.
And there's only one man back for Dignitas if Metsunaris makes that touch. iGNITE, he lets it go for Metsunaris. He's in position for the pass from Mets, and TSM have an opportunity. You're absolutely right, James. And that wasn't even the only mistake from TSM. in that game earlier, Dignitas' first goal came off of a double commit in front of the box from TSM. Remco and Ignite bumping into each other.
So, you know, Dignitas started out this series where they had some shaky defense. They were able to clean it up, and now TSM, at least in Game 3, their shaky defense cost them this game. So Dignitas, the adjustments that we saw after Game 1 have been working. Can they keep this up?
Well, TSM, can they come back? And it comes back, where's Game 1 for TSM?
Yeah, and Remco playing like he was. Yeah, Remco I didn't think played horribly. He's actually been playing very well. That last mistake had come from Metzenaris and Ignite.
And again, in the lower bracket of the regional championships, this is the only series these two teams have. Ignite off from Remco. They kick things off with a bang. TSM with the lead.
And that's exactly what you need. If you're TSM and you just had that difficult last game, you needed that early goal. Just 8 seconds in, Ignite capitalizing on that pressure from Remco. Remco getting the challenge. The rebound coming right out to Ignite, and he cleans up.
I'm going to cheat on the kickoff. Remco had it hit down to Dignitas' corner. And Ignite forcing the challenge as Remco pushes forward. Metzenaris around the corner, this time met by Turbo Pulsa. Turbo still keeping the ball close, still has possession, and this one right over to Violent Panda, so Dignitas really handled TSM well. Ignite this time trying to get through the Dignitas defense, but Yukio stands up back to the opposite side of the orange half. Remco in midfield gets back to his own pass. Really just trying to work through midfield. Dignitas haven't let them win in this corner. Now Violent Panda, a big touch falling down. Metzenaris has the save. Wrapping back is Remco just to keep it close.
And the half rotation.
And Violent Panda back across the box.
And Violent Panda there just had back-to-back great plays, beating out 2 defenders, half rotating to keep that ball in the TSM half. Violent Panda leading the charge right now for Dignitas to try to get them this equalizer.
Turbo, his shot blocked by Ignite. Metzenaris getting up there quickly, but again, midfield has been pretty locked down from Dignitas in the last 2 games. Here's the shot blocked by Turbo. Jumps up quickly to make the save. Turbo
coming up clutch there for Dignitas, keeping it to just a 1-goal game, but Ignite couldn't get that pass over to Remco. A dangerous ball. TSM has had a few very good opportunities. This could easily have been 2-0 or 3-0 for TSM, and we're only 2 minutes in.
TSM are trying to contest midfield. Remco had another touch to stop that high-flying return from Dignitas, but TSM, it's those follow-ups in midfield that they just can't get. Ignite has a tee up here, but again, Remco, he has no option there. It was covered by both Yukio and Violent Panda. Now they head the other way, and Yukio strikes for Dignitas.
Yukio's shooting can just be so impressive. Look at the placement on this shot. Remco was even in net waiting, and Yukio puts it under or upper 90. A marvelous shot from Yukio.
A response for Dignitas as they continue their journey to take this to series point. Metzenaris, oh my goodness, Violent Panda just slapped it against his own crossbar for the save. Yukio worms his way through midfield. Remco trying to keep it away, but Yukio's already there, high off the backboard. Can't get back to his touch, was expecting Ignite to have that touch in TSM. Try again from midfield. Ignite off the backboard, this time defended by Violent Panda. While the backboard defense has plagued Dignitas all season long, sans Game 1, it has been solid for this team. A save from Ignite, and everyone committed.
That was a pre-jump there from Yukio, and it scared the entire TSM defense, but now on the other end, Ignite with a wide open net. He couldn't do it.
Oh, it's blocked again. Ignite can't get back to it. No goal for TSM. Dignitas get away with it. A shot blocked, scored. Violent Panda, Dignitas.
What a turnaround, a roller coaster of emotions as the dunk comes out from Panda. That looked like it was surely going to be a goal for TSM. They had a wide open net. Ignite misses, Remco misses, and then the counterattack, Panda with a double tap essentially off the defender, and Dignitas take the lead. That is worrisome. If you're a TSM fan, that could be the turning point.
A series of wild events in the later stages of game number 4. And Dignitas, if they hold on to this lead, it will go to match point. Big win by Turbo. Violent Panda up quickly as well. I feel like Dignitas just keeps speeding up the longer this series goes. Another to Turbo. Violent Panda scores! Dignitas on fire!
Somebody lock Violent Panda up, otherwise he's going to do too much damage. On the wall, coming off, Remco didn't even see him. Violent Panda with the redirect at point blank range.
Violent Panda was challenged on that initial touch, and the pass went straight in to Turbo's bumper, and he puts it right on the nose of Violent Panda. Dignitas, it's not over yet.
Well, another double commit from Metza, Naris, and Ignite. The net is vulnerable. They get back in time, but that could have been a 4th goal. Metza and Ignite again double committing. TSM, the cohesion is starting to disintegrate.
And Turbo carrying this out. TSM, again, attempted challenge, failed. And a whiff on the play, but Metzenaris gets there in time. Not a lot of time left for TSM. They'd like to tie this series up at any cost, and a quick pass to Metz. It was a bouncer. Tough to put on target, but that was the chance that TSM, they had to convert there. They just don't have enough time. 10 seconds, now you're just looking to score with any amount of time left. Violent Panda on the challenge, back to the opposite side. Yukio's there, kicks it downfield. That's gonna be it. Dignitas take it 3-1. They have one more game to go, and they move on for one more chance at the World Championship.
Dignitas, in game 1, I thought, oh man, this is the Dignitas that we saw early on in the season. I'm starting to worry. And then all of a sudden, in game 2, something switched. Dignitas, they switched into Dignitas mode. A team that won DreamHack Leipzig, a team, you know, with Violent Panda and Turbo, who have been at the top for over and over, continuing to step up. And look at that one, the save, but reading it off the post, and you just have to throw your body over there because Panda knows that, you know, even if a defender gets a save, he's got a high probability that he'll be in the area for a dunk, and that's exactly what happened.
And even before that, on that very same sequence, it came off of a wild ricochet in front of Dignitas' net, what would have been a TSM goal. Somehow, first it started with Turbo making a save. Then the shot bounced off the post, off a Dignitas player, into a TSM player, back into a Dignitas player, into a wild transition back the other way.
It could have been a goal for TSM. Ignite, he wasn't able to make an adjustment in time to get the shot on net. The net was wide open, but he had to make a quick adjustment. He couldn't do it. After the shot bounced off the crossbar, Remco wasn't able to make contact with the ball either. And so it looks like a moment where we're expecting TSM to score, and then seconds later, for Violent Panda to get that goal, that was when TSM broke in that game. And now Dignitas are just one game away from staying alive in the regional championship and moving on to play PSG for a spot at New Jersey.
Yeah, no more lives left for TSM. This is it for them. They got to clean up these double commits. The communication. Well, Metzenaris demoed on the play. Remco high on the challenge. And how do TSM fix these double commit issues on these rotations? Ignite waiting. Metzenaris, the shot is good. He finds the gap in the upper corner. TSM, first goal.
And an upper 90 shot as well. This time, Remco challenging Yukio. It bounces out to Metza. And yeah, you see the bump there coming in. The narrow miss as well, almost making contact with the shot. But Metzenaris, that was a banger. Well placed.
Exactly what TSM need. Score early and often against this Dignitas squad, as they had continued to heat up as the series goes along. Yukio knocks that down, back over to Violent Panda. And the clear by Remco. Only give Turbo a chance at the ball here off the ceiling. Straight down to Yukio. He pops it over Metz. Remco finds Metz on the corner, but And nothing really to do for them. Ignite. Ball finds its way back to Remco eventually, but he can't get back up for the challenge. TSM this season, they've held a lot of 1-0 leads, but a quick pass from Dignitas off the crossbar. Ignite has the save. Not over just yet, but Ignite gets the clear as well. Yukio hunting his turbo, and he found it just above the crossbar, weaving his way through traffic, but they come away empty.
Dignitas starting to heat up, however. Two very close attempts. You gotta feel, I mean, you feel like they're gonna find the net eventually if they keep putting shots like that towards net.
Yukio, a high ball, turbo off the ceiling. Yukio trying to chase it down. Can he get there? No, Remco plays it out to the other side. Still, midfield locked down by Dignitas. Turbo wins it against the side wall. Ignite up high, back over to Remco. TSM thwart another siege from Dignitas.
But it's not over yet. They're gonna have to keep this pressure going and try to start starving Boost. And that open net for Ignite, he punishes the Dignitas defense, and great hustle from Metzenaris on this play.
And Metzenaris trying to get the win onto Turbo and kick straight out to Ignite. Yukio a little too far against the back wall. He tried to chase that down in time, but the ball just too fast. Ignite in the best position he could be for that ball to kick out. And TSM, that's a big insurance goal.
Absolutely, that ball kicking out thanks to the challenge from Metzenaris, his second effort. And now almost play coming out from Yukio, but the second effort from Metzenaris, putting himself in a position to get that challenge, was really what allowed them to get that goal.
It really has been the difference maker. A quick pass for Turbo, back to Violent Panda. Turbo, Pulsa! Dignitas on the board!
Turbo playing mind games here. The pass from Panda gets by Metza, and look at that! The defender streaks by. He thought Turbo was gonna play a shot towards net. Turbo had something else in mind.
This is the Dignitas that they're looking a little bit like old Dignitas right now.
I mean, even new Dignitas, they won DreamHack Leipzig.
They did win DreamHack Leipzig. It's just this RLCS season, there's been just so many issues for Dignitas. They weren't able to put things together. Week 5, it looked like they'd finally started to figure it out.
Absolutely, and that play is something that we expect from Dignitas. Violent Panda, you know, just one of the game's best passers if you look back on all the previous seasons. And he's still distributing that pass over to Turbo, and then Turbo, the 3-time, showing us that, you know, what skills he has that allowed him to get those 3 world championships.
And for TSM, it's just still trying to find your way through, trying to find a way to hold on to this lead. Dignitas are continuing on offense right now, high against the backboard. Metzenaris has another good touch, and the backboard defense is there. Ignite gets under the entire Dignitas defense. He's got an open net, and he kicks up the 2-goal lead.
And this is the danger of going for those demos. He did connect, but at what cost? Metzenaris and Ignite, or just TSM in general, taking advantage of that overcommitment on the offensive half, and the net was just wide open. So sometimes demos can pay off, other times they can bite you, and right there it bit you.
So TSM, their 3rd goal in game number 5. A much-needed, reinsured hope for TSM with about a minute left. And Remco, a demo on the backside, does leave the net open for a second, but Violent Panda able to cross. He's got it covered. Turbo dumps it down back to Violent Panda, has Yukio on the other side. With some space.
Oh man, it's so many demos, Jorby.
And just trying to just harry the rotations in whatever way that they can. And it's worked a couple of times. Still Remco off the ceiling. Finds it for Violent Panda, and physical play. And it looked like Mets might have had a challenge there against Yukio. Instead it goes the other way, and a big stand-up play from Ignite to play it out to the corner.
And now the clear from Remco as well. All the pressure relieved for TSM in the waning seconds. TSM holding strong, gearing up to close this game out and starting to think about their game plan for game 6.
Remco, good pass from Ignite, keeps it away from Yukio, killing more time off the clock, playing edge to edge here in the orange half. Yukio challenged. Nothing good here for Dignitas. Violent Panda tries to get it out of the way, but they can't break out of their own half. If there's time left on the clock, if they can score, it's not going to happen. Dignitas can't win it. TSM stay alive in the series.
They certainly do. TSM with their back to the wall. They knew if they lost this game, their hopes at the World Championship would be done. And they step up 3-1 over Dignitas, taking it to them. ignite with 2 goals.
And no double commits.
Yes, the double committing is where they cleaned it up. They knew that they had an issue, especially after how poorly last game went for them. They're probably making that adjustment to calm even more. Call it out. Let your teammates know what you're doing. Over-communicate. You know, a lot of times in situations, over-communicating, it never hurts. And so right now, ignite, Metzenaris getting things together, getting back on the same page, and TSM right back into it, Jorby. We could be gearing up for a 7-game series.
It really might go that way if TSM can continue what they did in that game. But even still, I think Dignitas played a good Game 5, and they had a lot of good pressure. They had some solid opportunities, but TSM weren't forced to make a lot of saves. They only had to make 2 saves during the entirety of that game. Dignitas have the midfield presence, the midfield lockdown. They have that. They're able to get that. They're able to work the corners well, but other than that, it's more shots on net is what they need, something that they were able to do earlier. And granted, while a lot of them came off of capitalizing off TSM errors, double commits, maybe ill-advised ball chasing, it didn't work out this time for Dignitas. So if they can continue to look for demos as we saw them do, it led to a goal for TSM once, but
I mean, they overcommitted on one play, however. Yeah. You know, they sent, I believe it was Violent Panda, and yeah, they had one player already up towards net. But now a chance early off kickoff, off the post, the rebound for Panda, 3 seconds in. Dignitas getting a huge goal.
A huge kickoff for Yukio. The cheat went to the opposite side for TSM, and so Violent Panda picked the right side, and he had it. 100%, he takes that every day. 3 seconds is all it takes, like you said, James.
A heartbreaker of a start for TSM. Panda making an early goal happen.
Well, Remco off the ceiling. Remco with the hat trick in game number 1. And a couple assists to go with it. Can he be a force for his team again? 2 bumps, but Violent Panda comes away with the ball. ignite does slow down Dignitas for a second, but the shot's still there. It's just wide. Remco pulling out to the other side. Has ignite. ignite blocked by Turbo on the return. Metzenaris off the ceiling. Remco takes that back for Metzenaris. Didn't have the angle, and Remco's eliminated from play. ignite just off the back wall, cleared away.
Solid defense in that exchange. Dignitas, the save from coming out from Turbo Pulsa, then the demo from Violent Panda. Dignitas just holding firm, and now the no boost. Mind game leading to this opportunity. Dignitas up by 2.
Remco trying to get back to this. Yukio doesn't get the touch, so Remco's expecting Yukio to tee that up. Instead, he goes under Remco, which sets this entire play up. Dignitas finish. Great play by Yukio.
Yeah, sometimes lack of boost forces you to be in an unpredictable situation. Yukio knew he didn't have enough boost to fully follow up on the play, but he bluffs him. And that was enough to slow down the TSM defense to generate that opportunity for Panda.
Oh, Remco scores! It looked like Dignitas had the block. TSM get on the board quickly.
Turbo was in net, a tough read situation. He couldn't get up in time. When you're in net like that, you can't jump straight up in the air. You have to dodge the crossbar, and he was so deep in net that he had to take a pretty weak line to the ball, and Remco just got to it first. And TSM prevent this game from getting out of hand, and now another chance, but that one cut out.
What a block from Yukio on the pass. Cleared out again. Metzenaris picks this up against Turbo Pulsa. Yukio back over to Turbo, but this time blocked by Remco. Remco, oh, he misses the touch. Violent Panda was a little far up on that play. If Remco finds that touch, he might have caught Violent Panda out off the backboard, picked up by Remco. A little bit of trouble. Here's Violent Panda, tries to cause some chaos on the back wall, but TSM do come away with it. Another challenge win for Metzenaris in midfield. really has just been so back and forth. Pass off the ceiling. Remco, does he have the touch? I ignite off the backboard. Metsunoris comes in. It's too late. Turbo Pulsa and Violent Panda have the clear. And the follow-up from Yukio. 1, 2, 3, score, Dignitas.
The perfect counterattack. Turbo lobs it to Panda. Panda finds the outlet in Yukio. And Yukio, he's been doing this all series. Pinpoint accuracy. A stunning play from Dignitas.
A 2-goal lead. Now a 1-goal lead. You love it. You love it, James.
A kickoff goal immediately. That is not what you're looking for. Turbo just didn't make contact with the ball. It looked like he was trying
late flip.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to force the ball over to his left side of the field. And it just didn't work out. He missed making contact completely. And a kickoff goal for TSM.
Right after you get insurance against TSM.
And that really...
give it up like that.
Yeah, it muffles the momentum that was building for Dignitas. TSM right back into this one. You know, 1-goal lead, I say it all the time, it's never safe. With the 0 seconds rule in play, you just never know when it's going to strike. We saw even Justin do it at the World Championship in the Grand Finals, final game. You know, no 1-goal lead is ever safe. Those insurance goals mean so much for comfortability.
Oh, a quick pass. Demo, but I Ignite still has the play off the ramp. It is cleared away by Dignitas. Oh, Metsunoris bumping Yukio out. Gives his... Oh, Remco bit. Didn't expect Metsunoris to kick it out towards the middle of the field. Miscommunication. It's been solid since games 2 and 3 for TSM, but this time it kills them. Mets back to I Ignite, blocked by Yukio, and Dignitas doing so well right now, cutting off the passing lanes. TSM, Yukio, that's his 3rd time in this game that he has cut off a pass that would have put TSM in a very favorable spot on the offensive end.
You have to be proactive. You can't wait for the shots and try to defend the shots as they come in, especially in those passing plays. You really do have to look for those reads and deny the passing lanes altogether. And that's exactly what Yukio and Dignitas have been doing, and it has been paying off.
Remco, he at least gets in the way, forces Yukio to have to respect it. I Ignite, he gets in front of Turbo. Good play by him as Mets has it high against the backboard. Remco catches this, Yukio there. TSM lurking. Here comes Mets, blocked by Turbo. Still flying, Remco can't beat Violent Panda to the ball. Dignitas get out of the orange half. And Yukio under I Ignite, looking for a pass out, blocked by Metsunoris again. So a couple of plays towards the box, thwarted by both. Yukio finds his way around one. Metsunoris, the last man back. Beat by Turbo Pulsa in midfield. I Ignite, trying to cut it out. And Remco up high off the backboard. Metsunoris there as well. And for both TSM and Dignitas, a couple of times you see them just stealing the ball away from whoever it is they're challenging. It's not necessarily just flipping into the ball and trying to force the ball away. It's stealing it so they have control to find a back pass. Here's TSM off the ceiling, but cleared away by Violent Panda. And those passes have afforded them chances. Here's I Ignite for Remco, blocked by Violent Panda. Time winding down. TSM, if they have a chance, it's gonna be in the air. They can't get to it. Oh no, Remco does, but it doesn't matter. Dignitas eliminate TSM, and they move on for one more chance at the World Championship.
Dignitas, you can never count them out. They had such a struggle this season, and even going into the final week, the question was, are they going to stay alive in the RLCS, or are they going to the promotion tournament? Now, in the first round of the regional championship, they take it over TSM and just get the win in the dire moment. And a lot of it was thanks to just the team plays from Dignitas in general. Just all around, these guys working together to make it happen.
And that replay was where Yukio had run out of boost, but close enough to the ball to make Remco respect that touch, the fact that Yukio could have that touch if he did have boost. And Dignitas, the victory here, I mean, it really was a back and forth affair for them. But now Dignitas, you heard Garrett say in his interview after North America's games yesterday, he's like, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be Dignitas. It has to be.
Yeah, and Ronicky in his interview as well, saying Dignitas is coming out from the lower end of this bracket, so you can't count them out.
Well, coming up next, we will see the match coming up PSG versus Dignitas. Can Dignitas continue their redemption run after league play? Can they make it to the World Championship? Find out after the break.